Hey guys, thanks for coming back. We're out in the shop tonight. We just finished up this knife right here, and now we need to make a sheath for it. So let's grab some of this leather, and I'm going to walk you through how I do it. I've gone ahead and cut out a piece of leather. Now I'm going to lay my template on it and draw around it 3 times. One for the front, flip it over, one for the back, and the third one's for the welt. Then you go ahead and cut everything out. I just use a razor knife. I like to lay out some lines to show me where I'm going to put my glue. So I lay the welt on and draw my lines. These will be my glue up lines. And then I'm going to take my extra piece of leather from my welt, and I'll make my belt loop out of this. And the top of it's already contoured just the same as the rest of the sheath, so it'll match up real nice. Next, we're going to take our stitching groover, and this is a tool that cuts a groove in the leather. It allows the stitching to lay down beneath the surface of the leather, protecting it. I love to use these tools. They're really satisfying. And this is the stitching wheel. It lays out the spacing for the stitches. Let's go ahead and add some detail, some artistic flair. Here you go. And I mark around the belt loop to show me where to put my glue. I'm using a contact cement, so once you put it on, you gotta let it set up and dry a little bit, and then you just stick it together. Alright, so we've got the front panel and the back panel. Both of them are ready to be glued up. I've gone ahead and sewn on the belt loop. You have to do this before you stick them together for obvious reasons. Flip this over. Get this one ready. Put some glue on both sides and then stick them together. This is the welt material that I was talking about earlier. It's a third piece of leather that's sandwiched between the front and the back, and its purpose is to protect the stitching from the cutting edge of the knife. When you shove the knife in, if this leather wasn't there, the cutting edge would cut right through your stitching and the sheath would fall apart in no time at all. I'm sure the leather purists out there cringe at the sight of me using a drill press, but all I have to say is I use a drill press. One thing that I don't show you is that after I'm done drilling all these holes, I do take my stitching wheel and I go through the groove to realign all the holes and to kind of tuck the leather back down into the groove. And here is the stitching. I just do a simple saddle stitch. It's kind of this ballet of arms flailing in the air and extra string and pinching between your knees and juggling left and juggling right, and in the end it's all stitched up. After it's all stitched, I like to take my razor knife and clean up all my edges and cut the tip off. Here's the edge beveler. In my opinion, this is the most fascinating tool of all the leatherworking tools. I kind of view it as a feat if I can go all the way from one side to the other without breaking off the piece of leather. This is truly satisfying. Love it. I absolutely love it. It really makes you feel like you have a finished product as soon as you clean up the edges of your leather. And let's go ahead and put the knife in. It fits. Oh, that's perfect. Now in this one, I've decided to go ahead and dye it coal black. So let's whip out the dye. One important thing to know about dyeing leather is it's good to just flood the dye on right off the bat, especially on the front panel. If you let the dye sit in one area, it'll dye deeper and you'll see the spots even after you've got the whole front dyed. Just a little heads up, I do have a surprise for you. Boom, I made 3 of them. I thought I'd go ahead and show you some other colors too. So this sheath, let's go ahead and do Java Brown. We'll get it dyed up, show you what Java Brown looks like. I grabbed the Timber Brown for this sheath. Ew, I don't like that at all. Yeah, we're gonna have to do something different here. This is one of those where you have to fly by the seat of your pants. So let's go ahead and grab the black. Maybe we'll do a gradient tinting dye on this, kind of a starburst effect. Here's the black. Let's start by doing the edges, feathering it in. We'll use the thumb and smear it around, could bring it towards the center a little bit. There we go. Yeah, that's looking good. One thing to note, these are water-based dyes, so you could take a rag with water on it and you can wipe some of the dye off, you can help blend it in. It looks like I can still see some black dye around the edges that I'm not liking. Let's grab the brown, bring it back, and lay some down the center. Yeah, that looks perfect. Ooh, that actually came out really nice. It went from not liking it at all to probably my favorite one. After everything's dyed, I seal it up with a super sheen, and then I come in with my burnishing tool and slick down all the edges. Okay, so the first knife is Australian Red Molly for the handle material. It's on a differentially heat-treated blade. We're going to put that in the gradient tint sheath. Now these leather sheaths are still a little bit wet, which is good because we're going to form them around the knife handle. So you want to seat the knife all the way into the bottom of the sheath and then gently work the leather with your thumbs around the handle. And that'll give you a really nice impression of the knife handle through the leather. You want to make sure not to use your fingernails here because your nail will leave an indentation that'll be there forever. Oh, that came out sharp. Pull the knife out, wipe it off just in case you have any moisture on it. Here's the second knife. This one I did a vintage walnut burl. It's also on a differentially heat-treated blade. We're going to put that in the Java Brown sheath right here. Yeah. Make sure it's seated fully into the sheath before you work it. And then once again, use your thumbs and give it some nice detail. Yeah, I'm loving this. Boom. Perfect. And here's the third one. This is the knife that we did the video for. On this one, I used red velvet tamarin burl for the back of the knife, and I used a brown Mali burl for the front of the knife. It's also on a differentially heat-treated blade. You can see the temper line right there on the blade. Now on this sheath, you'll notice I don't use my thumbs to smash around the handle because I don't want to disrupt any of the tooling that I did, any of the artwork. Hey guys, thanks for watching my video. Hopefully you enjoyed my content. If you did, you might consider subscribing to my channel, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thanks.